or shit, whatever my dumbass friends call me.
Decided that since I've been wanting a YouTube channel for a while, but since I'm obsessed with conspiracy theories and every single time I click on a conspiracy theory, it's some girl being like, hi, here's another conspiracy theory that like I've already heard. So I thought that I would do some that were really wild and really true. And there's one that I made, sort of, about Beyonce and Jay-Z that I've Snapchatted everyone about. So, by the way, if I look down, it's because I'm looking at my notes because I'm professional. Okay, so let's begin. Conspiracy theory number 1. The CIA poisoned Bob Marley. So, let's break this story down. In 1976, Bob Marley was living in his Jamaican home, right? And it's kind of special to this, but you'll have to see why later. So he had like an assassination was planned to kill him, but he didn't die. So he survived the assassination, got shot. The shot wound was perfectly fine. That has nothing to do with the conspiracy theory, but he was like, you could tell it was a planned assassination. So these people were really dumb and didn't wear any mask, did not hide their fingerprints, did not cover their face in the camera, right? So people knew who this guy was. And this guy's name was, this guy was the son of the CIA director, William Colby. William Colby, right? The son of the motherfucking CIA director. So you're gonna tell me Bob Marley was almost killed by a guy who's from the CIA. Okay. But that's not the end of the conspiracy theory. Because I said they poisoned him, right? Not shot him. So basically, Bob Marley supposedly died at the hospital on May 11th, 1981, right? Well, ironically, his toe cancer was also one of the cancers that started right after William Colby's son gave him a boot. I know. Just hold on. So, doctors recommended that he amputate his toe, right? Because it's like, well, the cancer's in it. It's going to spread if you don't amputate it. That's how all of, like, the skin cancers go. Well, because of, like, his faith, I don't really know, like, what faith he considered himself as. But because of his faith, he couldn't cut that part of his body off. That was part of his temple. His body was his temple, and he couldn't ruin that. So doctors recommended it. Every doctor he went to said the only way you're gonna do this is if you amputate that toe. And he was like, hell no, motherfucker. I'm keeping my fucking toe. So the cancer spread throughout his body and he died in 1981. But if we look back, the boot has a lot to do with it because it was supposedly like given to him with radioactive material in it, like wiring. And at the time, William Colby's son was, so William Colby's son, sorry, we had technical difficulties, but William Colby's son was like, he wasn't in the CIA, but he was very into it. Like, he was very into following his father's footsteps, who was the director of the CIA. That's a pretty high place to be in the CIA. So the radioactive, which was copper wire, which if you didn't know, copper already has some risk to it just because it's kind of like a, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just kind of one of those metals, like tetanus. So that's what caused the cancer, people think. Conspiracy theories think. And the people who shot, it's very important to note that the person who tried to shoot Bob Marley was in fact Mr. Colby, like for a fact, not conspiracy theory. So why wouldn't they, like, fuck, we missed him the first time. Why wouldn't you go back? And they saw Bob Marley try the shoe on, started in his toe. And it's also very, very important to remember that Bob Marley was a perfectly healthy guy. At the time when he was killed, he was actually in the middle of a soccer tournament thing he was doing. He actually talked to the public in the news stations how he was on like a fruits and veggies diet. He was very into dieting and running and sports. Why would this healthy guy who was publicly speaking out about how like black people are being like discriminated against, how the government has stuff to do behind stuff. Same with Tupac. If you look back at that, he had a lot of stuff with the Illuminati he was talking about. So it would just make sense that if someone was speaking out against all this stuff, to be like, shit, he's gonna expose us. So not a lot of people also know about Bob Marley's, like, I guess, his whereabouts. So his location before his concert, this is very creepy. So he was on tour for festivals a lot. So not a lot of people were allowed backstage, only family, only recorders, and only people who really needed to be back there for work. William Colby, or William Colby's son, his son, right? I had to make sure. William Colby's son made his way backstage, claiming that he was a photographer with, and keep in mind he had no equipment, none. He just walked in this crib like, I'm a photographer, I fucking swear. And he just somehow with maybe his badge or something, made his way through. He was there alone with Bob Marley before the festival, days before his death, saying that he was a photographer when he was not. So why would he be why would he be alone with him? Like, that's just shady. I don't know if I believe the conspiracy theory, but I definitely think that he has something to do with him, just because the fact that he was in a failed assassination with Bob Marley. Of course, that's something. So, conspiracy theory number 2. The Kennedy family killed Marilyn Monroe. This one has to be true for me. It has to. Like, Marilyn Monroe, she was depressed. Yeah, she was an actress. But at the height of Marilyn Monroe's fame was with the Kennedy family. There's no reason why. I don't see how she would kill herself like that, especially the way she was found, like naked with the capsules in her body, which, by the way, when the autopsy did her dead body and like try to find her cause of death, there was not a lethal amount of capsules in her body. It was not lethal at all. It was like 2 capsules out of the ones that could have been like 19 to kill you. So that's of course important to remember, but I don't know how accurate that is, just because autopsy information is so iffy. But I mean, come on guys, like, it's been years. Like, I low-key believe it, but it's just the affair that was happening. Like, that probably really hurt his reputation. I mean, there's so many affairs that like we look back on and just call them out. I mean, there's like mud slashing all over the place with politics. So maybe his wife got really jealous and Mrs. Kennedy was like, I need to clean this dirty work up, and just swept Marilyn under the rug. So I don't really know how the Kennedy family would kill her, but that's good because it's so much of a secret. If it's like, how is they going to kill them publicly? Are they going to get a hitman, all this? But there's so many staged suicides. I can make a whole video on it. Conspiracy theories with all the suicides, you know? But it just looked bad for his reputation. And Marilyn Monroe was a very like sweet, like, everyone knew her as like America's sweetheart. And everyone knew John F. Kennedy as like a professional. There's so many conspiracy theories about his assassination that wasn't too far away from Marilyn Monroe's death. So we're wondering if people made so many conspiracy theories about Marilyn Monroe that they were like, fuck, we gotta get this guy out of here. Not only did Marilyn Monroe do that too, but they both were threatening to speak out against aliens, which I personally believe in, but they were both going to speak out about Area 51 and the testing of the Greys, which is a whole different thing, but they were about to speak out against it. They had like, we'd see that they would do it because she was very vocal about political issues too, and then all of a sudden she just kind of got quiet. So it's kind of different, but of course there was no show of lethal amount of capsules in her body. So number 3, Phil Spector from the Rolling Stones is trying to cover up his murder. So I'm a huge fan of the Rolling Stones, and always have been. Like, I don't know, just something about them. And Phil Spector, as much as I love the band, Phil Spector is fucking shady. Like, he's just always been shady. So these allegations came out against him about, what is it, actress Lana Clarkson. And Lana Clarkson was killed in his California home in 2003, so it's actually kind of recent, but it was with a shotgun. It was his gun. He had a license to it or something. Like, something just, it was very, I mean, he was actually found guilty for it. So, like, it's as a fact that he did kill her in 2003. But I don't understand. Something about me is wondering why he would even try to cover it up. So he's trying to kind of, I don't know if it's because he didn't do it or if, like, he has more information about it that he can't say, so he was like, shit, I'm gonna take the guilt for this one, but y'all better give me like a new record or something if I'm gonna take the guilt for this. I mean, part of me thinks he didn't even go to jail. Like, he was just out there pumping records, because Phil Spector wasn't even like part of the Rolling Stones kind of get together after the backlash, you know? Kind of happened towards 2003. But I mean, obviously Rolling Stones is a huge icon. They don't want this to go wrong. So what he said, it's not even a conspiracy theory at this point. It's just what he said in the interview creeped me the fuck out. He said, when they asked him, they said, how is this not your fault? He goes, it's an accidental suicide. She kissed my gun. Number 4 and last one is my personal little not really put together conspiracy theory. I want you guys to like comment down below and tell me like what you guys think to put this one together, because I feel like there's some sort of fucking connection towards me. I just can't figure it out. So Jay-Z and Beyonce, you know, Lemonade came out and 444 came out. 444 was kind of like a reply to Lemonade almost. Now Lemonade, I have kind of two feelings about this, because Lemonade to me wasn't as famous as Beyonce's Beyonce album. Like, it was famous, but it wasn't as famous as I feel like everyone thought it would be. And so I feel like there's either a way of like, we need more publicity, that's why we're doing the twins, that's why we're doing the Jay-Z like cheated on me thing. But I don't really believe that one because I love Beyonce. But like, I feel like a lot of famous people like do public stunts just to get, you know, like more, because like there's no publicity is bad publicity when you're like famous. So yeah, but the real big one was, you know, when Solange beat up Jay-Z in that elevator a long ass time ago, and like it was on TMZ, and everyone in TMZ would not shut the fuck up about it. They were always like, Solange, which is Beyonce's sister, right? Why would Beyonce's sister not beat Jay-Z's ass if he was cheating on her? But, and I know it's not a conspiracy theory that Jay-Z cheated, it's a fact, but Beyonce just kind of stood there and was like she did not care that he was getting beat the fuck out of, and like I wouldn't either if he cheated, but like what I'm saying is he didn't say he cheated that early on, and everyone was like, why is this happening? There's so many conspiracy theories about just Jay-Z in general, but what if this is our answer? Like, what if 444 is the reply we're looking for why they didn't leave? What if Solange had so much beef with Jay-Z that Jay-Z was like, well, you cannot leave me now. I got beat up by your sister. I got beat up on all this. What if, like, this whole reason that he's with her is because of these kids that they're having for publicity? There's also conspiracy theory that Beyonce is Solange's mom, but that's a whole different one. Okay guys, so I hope you guys enjoy the creepy music and all those conspiracy theories. Seriously, like, do not be shy to drop a comment. I am like really offensive most of the time, don't care. Just drop comments down below if you have any conspiracy theories that you want me to talk about, if you want any videos in general, and